Welcome, I'm Cassandra, and this is your general forecast for October 2018. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, for our first card, this is Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Cancer Risings. So, we have the Three of Coins. So, it definitely seems like you guys are focused on perhaps maybe learning a new skill, maybe a new set of skills. Some of you could be considering taking some courses. Maybe some of you could be considering some higher education, such as, college. Some of you could be considering doing some like on the job training to learn a new skill. Some of you could be working within a team, because there's always some sort of team work associated with the Three of Coins. This is the card of the apprentice. So it's like we're in our beginning stages of learning a new skill or a new set of skills. Sometimes we can get recognition with this type of energy, but typically if we receive recognition, it is team recognition. But I'm also getting a third party type of feeling here. So it is a 3. Typically I wouldn't say that, but it is clarified by the Strength card in reverse. So this is where we're letting fear get the upper hand on us. So perhaps maybe some of you are considering learning a new skill. Maybe some of you want to go in a completely different direction, work-wise maybe. But maybe you might be having some fears about it. Maybe fear could really be getting in the way, and maybe you think you can't pull it off. But that's fear. Fear just wants to paralyze you and keep you in the same spot so that you don't do anything. So you need to realize that fear is an illusion. Don't let the fear get the upper hand on you, because ultimately we want to have the upper hand. We do not want fear having the upper hand, because when the tiger's in control, things can become a hot mess, okay? Now, given this position, this could be indicating that we could be dealing with some shadow work, so to speak, our shadow side. So we may be having to deal with some of our own shadow issues that are coming to light. Now, for some of you, this could be, very much conscious. For some of you, this could be occurring on an unconscious level. But ultimately, I'm feeling that there is some fear, especially, for some of you, this could be fear of a third party situation of some sort in your life, or this could be fear regarding learning a new skill, getting a different job, say in a different field. Maybe you already have a set of skills and abilities that are quite seasoned in another area, and maybe you're just ready to, do something different, learn something different, and maybe fear is getting in your way. Maybe the fear is telling you, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you won't succeed. Don't listen to that fear, because the fear wants you to listen. It wants you to be paralyzed. It wants you to stay in the same spot. So do not feed that tiger, okay? Do not feed that fear. Okay, for circumstances, we have the Five of Coins in the reverse position. So this definitely indicates that your luck has now turned in your favor. So for those who have had issues with employment, Maybe some of you could have been having a really hard time finding a job. Well, now this is the time where luck is turning in our favor, especially regarding finances and finding a job. And it's like our hope is returning to us, and we can now see the light at the end of the tunnel. The sun is coming out, and we know that things are getting better. Opportunities are making their way to us. But I don't want you guys to allow fear to get the better of you here, because fear will just keep you in the same spot. So don't pay attention to that fear. If you really want to go in a new direction, try something different, learn a new skill, take that leap of faith, take that chance. Because it's definitely showing that, the opportunities, the job opportunities are there. And under this type of energy, we can definitely see an end to the unemployment. So that's going to resonate with some of you. Now, for some of you, this could be speaking more of, maybe you might have felt that you've been going through some period where you had experienced a lot of trying times. And perhaps maybe you might have felt like you were put out into the cold. This could have been like maybe feeling like you were emotionally put out into the cold. Sometimes this is like literally being put out into the cold, but now we are seeing that we are no longer put out. Sometimes this can indicate, when it's in the upright position, homelessness, but in the reverse position, we're seeing an ending to that. Our luck is turned in our favor. Opportunities are coming our way. Things are getting better. For some, this could have been like a really messy move, a change of residence. There could have been a lot of difficulties surrounding this as well. But it is a 5, so we are definitely dealing with transitions. And the ending card, the outcome card, is a 5 as well. So we are definitely dealing with a transition period, which I swear, I feel like Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs are just really been getting it almost all year long with the transitions. Okay, so this would be the focus position. So this is kind of like the focus of the entire reading here. So we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands, this is a leader. Now, first and foremost, I should mention that this could actually be a person that could come into your life. They may already be in your life. They could be male or female. Doesn't matter. I know it says the King of Wands, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a male. It can be male or female. It can be someone that you've just met. It can be someone that you've known for years. Now, the King of Wands, he is a leader. He is very good at delegating responsibilities. He is very, very confident. He's very confident in himself and his abilities. He's definitely got a commanding type of personality. He believes in himself. He's very enthusiastic. He's very ambitious. This is the type of person that would definitely want to mentor, teach, assist you in how to be a leader, how to, go after what you want, because under this type of energy, whatever you want can truly be yours. But we really must work at it. We got to be able to roll up our sleeves and get our hands, in the dirt, so to speak. So we have to work for it. Okay, sorry about that. That was my kitchen timer. I had to run to my kitchen. Okay, so the King of Wands. I already went through all this, but he's really good at getting people to see the potential that lies within. So it is, oh, okay. It is clarified by the Justice card in the reverse position. Wow, okay. So some of you could have potentially gone through an injustice of some sort. Perhaps you may feel that someone has done you wrong. Sometimes we can see issues of discrimination and bias, especially if this happens, if you happen to have some sort of legal case. This is definitely not good, because this, can indicate that things could be biased, or there could be discrimination. There could be a judgment, that is not right or not accurate. Oh, not good. Okay, now this can also be indicating that perhaps the decisions that you might have made here recently, maybe they've not been well thought out, or maybe there's been a decision that's been made that is not what's best for you and where you are right now. Because the Justice card, whether it's in the upright or the reversed position, is always about making the right choices. And when it's in the reverse position, this can indicate that for some of us, this isn't going to resonate with everyone. But for some of you, this can be indicating that perhaps maybe we have made a wrong decision. Maybe some of us have made a, snap judgment, and it could end up being wrong. So, this could be regarding a certain person in your life. It could be male or female. This could be saying, when it comes to believing in yourself and stepping into a leadership position, or, even in the workplace, perhaps maybe there could be some sort of bias or favoritism or discrimination that could be looming. Or some of you may feel like you could have had an injustice from someone like this. Maybe some of you feel like you've been taken advantage of by this person. This is going to be different. Every Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign is different. All of our situations are different. So you'll know which one works better for your situation. But ultimately, the Justice card is about, we need to make the right decisions for where we are right now. And, we need to use the reasoning abilities and the logic. And we need to weigh things, just, like this, the scales of the Justice card. We literally need to weigh the pros and the cons to each choice, And we need to be very mindful on taking our time to make decisions so that we make the right decision. Okay, yeah. I don't want to say too much. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so for the past, we have the Knight of Coins in the reverse position. So anytime we have this, okay, first and foremost, this could be representing a particular individual for some of you. If it is, it could be male or female. They could potentially be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. They don't necessarily have to be. They could be somebody who is, hardworking, but in this case, with it being in the reverse, maybe they're not so hardworking. Maybe they're pretty scattered. The Knight of Coins in reverse, this is where we see issues of not being able to follow through on commitments that we've made. And a lot of this is because we are scattered, we are spreading ourselves too thin. Sometimes this can be a lack of focus. And it's like we're waiting on news to come in that has to do with finances. So, this could be about a job. This could be about, when am I going to receive this money? Or, when am I going to hear back about this house deal? Whatever it may be. This is definitely indicating that those types of things were at a standstill. So it's like nothing was moving forward. It seems like you were just like hanging in limbo in regards to financial matters. This is also a card where we can end up becoming moody and just wishing to withdraw and to be left alone. Because it's like the stress of the situation has just gotten us down so much. It's like just, everybody just leave me alone, So, a little bit of, alone time to withdraw a little bit is okay. But we don't want to become a hermit. We don't want to isolate to that point. That's not going to do us any good. And speaking of which, here's the Hermit card. So this is for the present, the here and the now. We have the Hermit card. So, this could be indicating that some of you could be pulling back, withdrawing. Maybe you're going through a period of introspection, some self-reflection. Maybe you're reevaluating your life or, certain situations. This could also be indicating that perhaps you could be receiving some advice or getting some advice from someone. This could also be, receiving advice from your own subconscious mind, But no matter what the advice is that you receive with the Hermit card, it is definitely wise and good advice. So whether that advice is coming from you or whether the advice is coming from a friend or even from, a professional that maybe you hire or a family member, whoever it may be, this is definitely good advice and advice that should be followed. Sometimes this can be about going, pulling back so that we can do some self-reflection and, quiet the mind so that we can actually listen to our inner voice, because all the answers we could ever want or need to all of our questions they can all be answered. We just have to go within and we have to trust, our higher mind, our intuition. But ultimately, this is wise advice, and it's advice that should be taken. But to each his own. I always like to say pretty much every month throughout every single reading, at the end of the day, you know what is best for you, and only you know that. So just make the right decisions for where you are and for your personal situation. Okay, so this will be the near future. So we have the Eight of Cups. So this is our Spirit Quest type of card. Now this is also a card where, we're just like tired of the same old. We're ready for something with more meaning. It's like we are ready to walk away from a situation. It could be a situation. We could be ready to walk away from a certain person. But in general, it's like, I want something more. So this is like the card where we're setting off on a spirit quest because we want to go around that mountain. We want to see, is the grass greener on the other side? Is there something over there on the other side that I'm missing? That I'm missing out on? So this is definitely a card of, we want something more. We want something that has a higher purpose, a higher meaning for us. For some of you, this could indicate, leaving a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship, could be a platonic relationship. But no matter what the case may be, this is where we want something more. We want something that has a higher meaning, a higher purpose. Oh, oh, ouch. Okay. Dang it. So it is clarified by the Seven of Swords. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, this is definitely a card of theft. You see, this guy's got 5 swords. He is literally taking off with them, and he is leaving 2 swords behind, and he's leaving evidence behind that something has been taken. So, this can quite literally mean that something of yours is taken by someone. You know, sometimes this can indicate that, you know, there could be a break-in. It could be a break-in into your home. It could be a break-in into, you know, your vehicle. But this is definitely a card where we have to beware. You know, it's not going to manifest that way for every single person. But, you know, it's just, this is one of those cards where it's like, you know, just make sure that, you know, if you're done with your car for the evening, make sure that you lock your car. I definitely would advise don't turn your car on and let it warm up or whatnot and go back into your home. You know, because under this type of energy, you know, unfortunately, somebody could take advantage of that running car and take off with it. So, you know, it's just like one of those things, you know, forewarned is forearmed is how I look at it. So, you know, make sure your windows are locked, make sure your doors are locked, you know, because more times than not, if we take those preventative measures, then, you know, more times than not, we're going to be okay. At least from the outsiders. Now, you know, this could still be someone that you know. Perhaps some of you are going to walk away from a relationship, you know, romantic or platonic, because perhaps maybe this person has taken something from you. It doesn't actually have to be a material item. You know, this could even be like taking your energy, taking advantage of you, you know. For some of you, this could be like someone, you know, taking your work, and then, you know, they claim it as their own. Like someone taking your ideas and then they claim them as their own. Plagiarism, that's what I was looking for. But no matter what the result, it's like, oh, look, I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready for something better. Now, anytime I see the Seven of Swords, this is definitely an indicator that we need to be watching out for deception, because deception is a possibility. And sometimes we can see unfaithfulness that pops up with this card. Not always, not for every situation. So I definitely don't want anybody taking that energy on, because if, you know, say your significant other, I mean, you'll know if this situation fits you. And if it doesn't, then please don't take this energy on like this is going to happen. Okay, moving forward. Either way, this is someone that, you know, has no problem taking advantage of you or what you can provide for them. And you're just like, I'm fed up. I'm walking away from this situation. I've had enough. I'm ready to find something or someone, you know, that is going to be much better. There's got to be better, because this ain't it. Okay, so this would be your attitude. So we have the Strength card in the reverse position. So here we have our fear getting the upper hand on us again. And, you know, I already went through this up here, so ladies and gentlemen, we have got to get rid of that fear. Remember, fear is an illusion. Fear wants to keep you in the same spot. It wants to paralyze you. Do not allow that to happen. That's like letting the dark forces, win. And no, we don't need to do that. I totally get, we all tend to go through these phases of, having fear. Sometimes it can be a fear of moving on, a fear of letting go, a fear of what's to come, but this is where we just gotta let go and let God, essentially. Let go, let the universe, whatever works for you, whatever your beliefs may be. There's great power in just surrender, because as human beings, we want to be able to control the things in our life, in our situations. And sometimes the more that we do try to control things, the more that we can actually make things a bit more difficult. So, yeah, control could definitely be a bit of an issue here. But I brought that up because the moment that we actually relinquish that control and the need to control the situation, then that's when things can change and roadblocks can literally be cleared, and then we start seeing things in a completely different light. But I do not want you guys getting caught up in this cycle of fear. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. And I know that's easier said than done, but trust me, getting caught up in this cycle of fear, it doesn't help, it hinders. Because when we're constantly in a state of fear, then we don't want to make a move because we fear it's going to be the wrong one. And if our thinking is fear-based, well, then we're almost going to attract, negative situations to us. So get rid of that fear. Don't let your mind and your thoughts be focused on fear. You need to believe, this is what's going to happen. Think about positive things. Think about what you want the results to be. Just don't get caught up in that fear. Don't be scared to just be you. To just take that chance, It's like we need to take a leap of faith. But fear will just keep us in the same spot. And fear just breeds more fear. Okay, so this would be how other people see you. Now we have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen, she's holding up her sword. I love this card personally, myself. Not everybody would agree, and that's okay. But she's holding this sword up. This sword it's the truth. It is symbolic of truth. Truth penetrating matter. So perhaps some of you are seeking out the truth. Maybe you're like, look, I don't want to hear all this stupid crap. I want the whole truth and nothing but. And hey, I can totally understand that. Now the Queen of Swords, she is very, very good at analyzing people and situations. She sits back and she observes things. So some of you guys could be sitting back and observing certain situations in your life. Now she also takes the time before she comes to a conclusion on things because she wants to get all the details. She wants to analyze it, and then she will come to a studied conclusion rather than a hasty one. She's really good at handling loss because she has been down that road a few times too many as well. And sometimes this can be due to her character in general. Sometimes we are just what people would classify as different. And hey, different is okay. If we were all meant to be alike, this would be such a boring place. I mean, I think that's part of what makes life interesting is we're all different. And if we were all alike and we were all perfect, oh God, that would just be weird. And I don't see what we could gain by that. It'd be pretty boring life if we were all the same. But she is ultimately after the truth. And she is ready to analyze and observe situations. She might also be, she can be a counselor. She could even be a lawyer. So some of you could be considering hiring a lawyer. Some of you could be considering going and seeking out some counseling. You know, there's no shame in either one of them. So, okay, so this would be hopes and fears. Sometimes this can give us a little bit of information into the subconscious mind. So we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups can be a younger person. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but typically they are younger than us. But most of all, this is someone who wants to help us. And a lot of times an opportunity can come from someone under this type of character. You know, typically this would be a Pisces, but you know, it could be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They could be younger. They don't have to be. They could even be a family relation. Or they could have ties to your past. But ultimately, you know, this is someone who wants to help you. You know, this could be indicating that you could receive some messages. They could be romantic messages. You know, sometimes this can be a card of indicating that we could receive some sort of communications, you know, either, you know, text or direct messaging, you know, email, phone call, you know, a good old-fashioned physical letter from the mail. You know, but someone could reach out and, you know, potentially want to seek out a relationship, maybe. Or they could just show that they're interested. Now, this could also be, you know, maybe someone just wants to help. Maybe someone has noticed what you've been through and what you've been going through, and they just simply want to help out. Maybe they want to say some things that are very encouraging and helpful, and maybe even a bit inspiring. Also, the Page of Cups is also a card of psychic ability. It tends to be more in the early stages, but you know, this can be a card of receiving psychic information as well. So psychic messages. Okay, this one's gonna be a little tough, guys. So, was this the second 5? Okay. So yes, we're definitely going through some transition periods. That is for certain. Lord, when is this going to stop? I feel like Cancer's been getting the beat down when it comes to transition periods. It's nuts. Guess we could thank Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn opposing our sun, moon, or rising sign. Okay, so back to the cards. 5 of Swords in reverse. Now, the thing that concerns me right off the bat, guys, is between the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Swords here, This could definitely indicate that something could be stolen. Now, I should also mention that before I get too far into explaining this, that you could be on either end of this, okay? So you could be on the receiving end of this, or you could even be the perpetrator. It's not going to be the same for every single person, so please don't shoot the messenger. Okay, so the Five of Swords in the reverse position. This is a card where there's somebody who has some very, very sneaky behavior. There is a desire to start conflict. So if you're not sneaking around and being sneaky, and you don't desire to start conflict, then you need to take a look around at who is and who wants to start problems. Okay? So that right there will let you know on which side you fall already. Okay? Either you're going to be on the receiving end of this or the perpetrating end. Now, this can be a card of legal issues coming up. Again, this is not going to be for everybody, but this is a heads up for a few of you to be careful, because legal issues can come up here, especially since we see theft over here. This can indicate theft as well. And this can also indicate the authorities getting involved. Now, like I was saying before, you know, this is someone who wants to start problems. Someone who's being sneaky. Someone who just wants to create conflict. Sometimes gossip can come up here, okay? If the gossip comes up and you happen to hear about it, and say potentially maybe you find out the gossip is about you or someone close to you, you know, just set the record straight. Say your truth and then, you know, leave it be. Either the people believe it or they don't. You know, it is what it is. Now, something else I need to mention. We need to be careful under this particular energy. The good thing is there's no deception. So we're kind of on equal footing here. But this is most definitely a card of some major conflict, okay? This can be a very emotional situation, and one that has many, many problems attached to it. So this is not something that we can always just get over like that, you know? So self-sabotage can be an issue. Again, that is not going to be for all of you. Only a few of you. And for those of you who that resonates with, you know who you are. Some of you do self-sabotage, okay? Because underneath it all, there's like mistrust. We're not able to trust. And so the self-sabotage can actually, you know, be a byproduct of that distrust. So, yeah, overall, I mean, you definitely got somebody that's desiring to start conflict. You know, I always like to say, look at the imagery on this card, because we have two men they're standing in the water, and they're literally duking it out. I know it's in the reverse, but the water is representative of our emotions. So they are all in their feelings, and they are mad, and they are duking it out. And all the while, look at this woman back here. She's just standing on the shore. She's just looking at the sunset. Like, hey, nothing's going on. I don't have two guys back here fighting over me. Yeah. This card's a rough one. Okay, yeah, so there's the third five. Five of Wands. So this is undoubtedly some conflicts. Now, the Five of Wands, this is a card of confusion. This is a card of struggles, and it is a card of verbal conflicts. So it's like we can start arguing because of something, that could be very small. But, it could end up morphing into something so much bigger. So it may start with something very small, minor. It could even be a small misunderstanding. But then it's like a constant conflict back and forth between, two people or a group of people. And it's like it just, one conflict turns into another and another and another and another and another. And it just keeps going. And then it's almost like facepalm, how did this start? Like, how did we get here, Because that's the amount of conflict. Now, my best advice, if you are going through a lot of conflicts with someone in your life right now, you need a mediator. You could really, really use a mediator in your situation here. Because sometimes it's going to take, someone who is not going to be biased, someone who can be objective and mediate, that can help to solve the argument, or at least help to get you clarity and the other person or the other people clarity. Because we don't want to be bickering so much at each other that we end up in some sort of violent situation. We don't need it to go to that level. No, that doesn't work for us. So, because we don't need to be fighting with each other like this. And the best way is we need to sit down. We need to talk things out in a constructive manner. But, this is a whole lot of combative, fighting type of energy, argument, very conflictive. So, a mediator is going to be needed. That, or somebody just needs to be the bigger person and zip it and, just take some time apart and let cooling heads prevail, so to speak, if that's possible. But ultimately, the conflicts are going to have to be talked about so that we can get past them. Okay, so then the second clarifying card that came out was the Four of Cups, which is the Moon in Cancer card. So this very much does feed into the mistrust. Look at the imagery here on this Four of Cups. See how this man, look at the body language. He's holding his arms. I mean, he's almost in a fetal position, but sitting up, He's looking up at that cup. It's a full cup. And this cup is representing an opportunity. And he's looking up at it like, yeah, that looks like it could be a good cup of wine. That could be some good wine that could sustain me, or that could be a cup of poison. Again, look at the body language. He is not trusting it. He's got 3 empty cups down here, and he's staring up at this other cup, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to stay to myself because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And what does that mean for you? Well, some of you could be feeling like, you know what? I can't trust this person. I just can't. The Four of Cups is also a card of, just feeling overall dissatisfied in our situations. Sometimes this can be, being dissatisfied in a relationship. Could be a romantic relationship, could be a platonic relationship, friendship. This can also be a card of, just boredom. This is a card where we are definitely becoming more you know, introspective, you know, we're reflecting on our emotions. So we are definitely emotionally reflecting, but through past experiences, we haven't been able to trust so easily. It's like, you know, I've been hurt before, I've been done wrong before, so I'm not sure I really want to reach up and grab that cup. So I think I'm just going to stay right here where it's safe, you know. Whichever choice you decide to make, whichever path you decide to take, you know, do what you feel is best for you and where you are right now. You know, make those right choices for where you are. But I would definitely say get a mediator. For some of you, if this has to do with a relationship, like a romantic one, I'm going to say you guys could definitely probably use some counseling, because a counselor can be a good mediator, and, you know, they won't be biased. I just don't want you guys getting in any type of legal trouble, but, you know, then again, this could be someone else getting in legal trouble, and you could just be taking legal action, and this person can be very combative and conflictive. But my feeling is that more times than not, you're probably going to know who this person is. I'm getting the feeling that you guys are going to know who this is, as opposed to it being a random complete stranger. Now, for a few of you, it will be someone that you don't know, but I'm feeling for most of you, this is going to be someone that you know. Ooh, that is tough. Okay, so bottom of the deck, we have the Tower card. So something unexpected happened. Something was shocking that happened. And now it's like the initial shock has wore off. So either there is a need to rebuild, or there may be a need to face the music, see the writing on the wall, so to speak, and move on. Sometimes this can indicate that we're being resistant and we're not moving on. We're trying to avoid the inevitable. And so this is definitely one of those cards where it's like, hey, it's time to see the writing on the wall. It's time to move forward. We cannot sit here and hang on to something that is really done. So it's like the inevitable has happened. We must face it. We must deal with it. There is a need to surrender and let go. And then it's clarified by the Ace of Wands. So for some of you, this could be an opportunity. More like a lost opportunity. You know, maybe there was an opportunity that came, and it could have been one that was out of the blue. Maybe it blindsided you. Maybe it was a bit shocking. For some of you, this was a new start. After the Tower moment of being shocked and unexpected, and then the Ace of Wands in reverse. So it's like we've been given a new start, but with it being in the reverse, something is blocking us, something is preventing us. So are you holding yourself back, or are you letting fear hold you back? Don't let the fear hold you back and keep you paralyzed, okay? You guys got too much love. You're too beautiful to be held back by that fear. You know, whatever this situation is that was shocking and that didn't work out, you deserve better. You deserve better. You're going to get better. You're going to have better. Mm-mm-mm. I need you guys to keep your heads up. Stay strong. I swear. Ooh, these tests over the last year, they're making us strong. But let me tell you, I mean, if we can make it through all of this, we can make it through anything, okay? We are strong. Because, boy, have we been tested. Mm-mm-mm. But keep your head up. And don't let that fear drag you down and keep you paralyzed, okay? Like I said, y'all are too beautiful for that. You got so much love. You need to be out here, you know, spreading that love. Taking care of us. Shoot. I just can't stand to even think somebody taking advantage of you guys. That's not good. Oh, it just makes me mad. Okay, yeah. I don't even want to start preaching. I don't want to get mad. I gotta stop. Just keep your head up, guys. We're going to get through this. And I'm telling you, we're going to be so much stronger. Now, I know this is rough. There's really nothing I can say to take the sting off of this. But I just want you to know that you're going to be so much stronger and better because of this. I know these are tough situations that we're going through, but growing is not easy. It's not. It's painful. It really is. And just remember, fear is an illusion. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. So don't let that fear hold you back. You are strong. Maybe you don't feel like it, but you are strong. You are stronger than you realize. You have tremendous inner strength, but you just can't see it right now. And I'm telling you, you are strong. So you need to believe it. I love you guys. And I am sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.